Okay, so um, a couple things happen in these next couple chapters. Just recruitment. I think this is probably my favorite chapter out of the last four or five. Um, and a lot of this just a lot of these novels, especially urban life, is grounded in believability. If you believe in the story, okay, I know I'm very subjective here, but if you believe in the story and enjoy it, these things will enhance your experience. If this is not your style, then um, I'm not gonna say I feel sorry for you because that's a little bit condescending, but it's more like there's this type of joy in reading these type of stories. And I gotta be completely honest with you. The joy I experience may not be the joy that you experience, and the joy that you experience may not be something I experience. Some people read Wuxia, some people read Urban Life, but it's chapters like these that I live for. And maybe the way I read it, I have a hard time getting it across, but I really, really do enjoy these chapters when I'm reading it, especially for the first time. I'm reading this for the second time, and while it's easier to react cleanly for the first time, I think, when you go through the second time, your emotions mature and you kind of like consolidate and you kind of understand it more. So you can really enhance that reading experience. That's what I want to bring out with these second time readings or third time readings. So I'm excited, but I cannot explain the emotions that I feel when I read, especially since I read so quick. But anyway, chapter 29 is 没有人是垃圾. So chapter 29 is known as trash. And then it really leads up to this chapter 30. This is the buildup, which is Shen Lang's speech. Which chapter 30? 第30章 Shen Lang 的演讲, right, his speech. And honestly, I don't think there's anything too spectacular about this chapter independently, but I think in the flow of the whole story, it's chapters like these that really add to the spectacle and the enthusiasm. And when you really get wrapped and invested into these stories, these are pivotal what did I just say? Pivotal chapters that just make this urban web novel like Homecoming Rebirth. I don't know, it's just an experience that I have a hard time explaining because if I could truly explain it, I don't think necessarily the magic would be lost, but I don't know, it's something that I can analyze and measure against. And I don't know, part of me is like when you measure it against something you can always discover more, but it's also just because it's inexplicable, there's also a magic in and of itself, right? The magic of mystery. And I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna start reading. But this is I only make bad movies. 我只会拍烂片. Chapter 30, Shen Lang's speech. So there's a lot of discussion. More than 20 of the more than 100 people retreated and didn't choose to join the crew. After 90 people went in, they saw this spacious warehouse, right? This is just this dilapidated warehouse with like sheet metal. I mean, it could be nice. It could have buildings and windows, but they are located in a warehouse instead of an office building. And there's just jagged stools all over. The lighting was not very bright and even a little dim. After seeing the scene, almost everyone had a thought in their hearts. That is unreliable. They've been dragged into something fake, right? We've all been in that situation before. Then again, another more than a dozen people hesitated and left. They don't want to waste their time. A lot of the things feel leftover and unnecessary, right? Opportunity strikes only once, and it's hard to tell whether it's opportunity or just a waste of time. There's another saying: 50% of the time is important, 50% of the time it's a waste. The problem is you don't know which is which. Maybe, what if it was 80-20? Would it still be worth it? Maybe, maybe not. Some opportunities are treasures for some, but for others, it's just not worth it. Soho, the thin monkey, looked at the people who were leaving. Soho, his eyes were slightly disappointed, but he didn't say anything. He just shook his head slightly. Then he took a look at the environment of their big film company. He used to feel embarrassed. After all, such a place can't be regarded as a company at all. It felt like a joke. But now he's full of confidence. His confidence came from the young man on the main seat who was wearing glasses and debugging the equipment. Glasses gives you temperament. In Asian culture, if you have glasses, it is just a sign of intelligence. Glasses is almost like a suit. It just enhances your image. That's why like women, men usually when in a business environment like wear glasses fake or fake or real. But now he's full. The same goes for the other busy Zhou Fu and Wang Jingguo. Although they felt that making a film was difficult. And even if after it was made, it didn't get a good result, but they still didn't give up. They were infected by this person. A debate continued, and all the students were wondering what the Sung Lang on the stage was going to do. Beep, beep, beep. You can almost imagine the padding of the microphone. After the equipment was debugged and, all the noises fixed, Sung Lang touched the microphone and then stood up. Hello, everyone. I'm Ying Scumbag, Sung Lang. After saying a word, everyone on the field was stunned. Under the light, they saw this young man with glasses and a silly smile saying this very seriously. He said it with a peace of mind, without any disguise, sincere and genuine. He didn't wear the suit from his employment counseling and psychological counseling office, but a very plain sports suit. By the way, I skipped those chapters, so if you want to know what's going on, go back and read. You're gonna have a lot of fun. I am not a psychological counseling major. My major is the directing department. If you check my information, you should be able to find that I'm the only scumbag in the directing department who has 2 consecutive subjects. And I was even faced at the risk of not getting a diploma. I don't have any talent. My professional courses were poor. My grades are not as good as everyone around me. If there's no accident, even if I graduate, I'll probably have to move bricks on a construction site. This is your classic working at McDonald's in the West. And I may never be able to get a wife. After all, considering how expensive it is to, find a significant other, I'm just a person from the countryside, am I right? Sung Long said these words seriously, as if this was not a shameful thing, and he was entirely magnanimous about it. There was no discussion on the field. It was just silent. Everyone looked at Sung Long strangely. It's almost as if they were focused on what he was saying. They didn't know what Sung Long was going to do. In the corner, no one knew that a figure wearing a mask and hat walked in slowly. But just when I was going to be like this, when I was having dinner with my 3 brothers and saying my final goodbyes, I let out a slap in the face. I said, in the future, we will stand on top of this world. Later, when I woke up, my brothers looked at me and paid for my awesomeness. That is when I knew I was in trouble. My first thought was to escape, but then I suddenly asked myself, in your whole life, have you ever fought for others or only just for yourself? Then a fire burned in my heart and I wanted to make a movie. I wanted to live up to myself and the trust of those around me. I said, I say to you, don't you want to work hard for yourself once in your life? The skinny monkey Soho stared blankly at Sung Long on the stage and suddenly thought of the ambitious words that the drunk brother Long said that night. The big yellow-haired Da Huang Tou, Du Jiang, took a deep breath and clenched his fist unconsciously. The flames in his body burned, and burned again. Tian Wang, Heavenly King Guo Ceng, closed his eyes and lowered his head. In the corner, the beautiful eyes under the hat are full of ripples. The students listening below only felt that there was a beast roaring in their bodies, roaring and screaming. It's like a cage in front of you trying to break free. We all know that the road ahead will be bumpy, and the future is difficult. We've seen many outstanding people chosen, and some of them have even been eliminated from the stage. We doubt ourselves. Are we really rubbish? Are we not good enough? Yeah? On the stage, Sung Long pushed his glasses and looked at everyone. Then he was suddenly silent. The people below were dumbfounded, as they have encountered the most important moment in their lives. They felt tortured. They looked up in a complicated way, a feeling of unwillingness washing over them. I was born to be useful. We are not trash. We just haven't found a suitable position for ourselves. I say everyone has their shortcomings, but at the same time, they have their own strengths. In this world, as long as we use it well, we can shine and illuminate others. Of course, there are also dreams. Everyone who dreams deserves to be respected, affirmed, and cherished. When you encounter setbacks, please clap for yourselves. Clap and applaud again and again. When Sung Long took the lead in applauding, everyone below applauded, and their applause was higher than waves. Came in waves. He didn't know how long it took when the applause slowly subsided. Sung Long took a deep breath. I want to make a movie. The investment for this movie is only 1.1 million. I'm poor, I have no manpower, but at the same time I need your help. A call to action. I believe in you. At the same time, I think in this complex entertainment circle, not to mention a huge wave. Maybe we won't set off a huge wave, but I want to at least set off a ripple. If you believe in me, stay here. If not, you can leave. A sincere voice rang out, and then Sung Long bowed to everyone. Everyone looked at Sung Long. A few girls had wet eyes unconsciously, but they were excited, and everyone nodded subconsciously. In a huge place, no one left. They all stood. They were all people who were brushed down by the other crew of our youth. Each of them became depressed and doubted themselves. You know, that classic imposter syndrome when you get rejected. However, the flames in their hearts were lit, and all they saw was light. Yes, they saw a ray of light behind Song Lao, and this ray of light was the existence they were extremely eager to get close to. That light, that feeling of success. Thank you all. Well, since you stay, then I won't let you down. I will give you all a confidential cooperation agreement. The requirements of this agreement are here. An hour later, agreements were signed and then placed in front of Sung Long. Sung Long nodded. Then Sung Long showed a smile. We are not without any capital. Also, this isn't going to be just your average cookie cutter, disgusting B movie, because the heroine of our movie is Qing Yao. At the same time, Mr. Huang will participate, and Cai Jiaming, a hot idol in the entertainment circle. After this movie, I hope that each of you can be proud of yourselves in the future. I hope to name one of you as the heroine or hero of our next movie, because that will mean that you become famous. And of course, for our brothers behind the scenes, you will enjoy our success because you are helping create the story one by one. Maybe these stories may not be legendary, they may not be beautiful, but this is your story. Let them see those that rejected you that what they're missing is not rubbish, but a strong person who's been tempered by the waves by life. Excited applause suddenly sounded again. There are even cheers and roars like heat waves. Blood is flowing in the bodies of these young people, mixed with belief and dreams. The mysterious girl in the hat hesitated for a while and left the company with cheers. Dudu, Xiaoxi, where are you? Just watching a speech. Oh, speech? You're interested in a speech? Zhangya, you say, did I miss something? What? Nothing. It feels like an Arabian Nights joke. What? Okay, Zhangya, I'll answer a call. It should be an itinerary for our youth. Well, 加油! Come on. Let's go. 加油 should actually be translated to let's go. And that is chapter 30, Sung Lang's speech. I like the title chapter 29, known as trash, but hey, you can't get all the good titles, but that's cool. There's a couple interesting songs, but I'll put them on later. But yeah, that's fun.